Let me start with a question you probably don't want to answer honestly. If someone secretly recorded the way you talk throughout the day, not the polished version, not the interview version, but the real one, the side comments, the DMs, the voice notes, the little muttered thoughts under your breath, how much of it would be complaining? People are so annoying. My boss is an idiot. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm so tired of this. Now imagine a stranger listening to that recording with no context. They don't know your history. They don't know your trauma. They don't know your intentions. They only hear your words. What would they conclude? Would they say, this person is powerful, strategic, and in control of their life? Or would they quietly think, this person is constantly at the mercy of everything around them? That uncomfortable gap? That's what we're talking about today. Because the moment you complain, you send a signal to your brain, to the people listening, and to the people who might want to influence you. That signal says, I don't have control here. I'm being done to. And to anyone who understands power, that sentence is a flashing sign that reads, easy to steer. Machiavelli and the silent law of power. Machiavelli may not have used the word complaining the way we do today, but he understood this dynamic with brutal clarity. In his world, rulers didn't survive because they never suffered. They survived because they knew how to suffer without broadcasting weakness to the wrong audience. A prince who constantly complained about his allies, his enemies, his citizens, or his fate would quickly lose respect. People would smell instability, and unstable leaders are easy to manipulate, easy to push, easy to replace. But before we go further, let's clear something up. This is not about pretending you don't feel pain. This is not about bottling everything forever. This is not about shaming you for being human. Life hits hard. You're allowed to hurt. What this is about is understanding this truth. Every time you complain automatically, especially in front of the wrong audience, you trade real power for momentary relief. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. That's where Stoic power comes in. Not emotionless, not robotic, but disciplined. I don't give my inner state away every time something annoys me. Let's turn this into a usable skill. What actually happens when you complain? Picture a small irritation. Someone cuts you off in traffic. A coworker talks over you. A friend takes forever to reply, then acts like nothing happened. Your body reacts first, a spike of stress. Your mind labels it unfair, annoying, disrespectful. And if you're like most people, the next move is leakage. You rant internally. You drop a sarcastic comment. You text someone, you will not believe what just happened. It feels like release. But here's the darker side. 1. You reinforce a weak identity. Every complaint strengthens a story. This always happens to me. People always treat me like this. Of course, this went wrong. Your nervous system starts believing it. You become the main character in a story where you're constantly unlucky, constantly disrespected, constantly acted upon. And because your brain loves consistency, it starts searching for more proof. 2. You give others emotional intelligence about you. If you complain to someone who's secretly jealous, you just handed them a blueprint of your triggers. If you complain to someone with power over you, you've branded yourself as reactive rather than responsible. Machiavelli would ask one simple question: why give power to someone who can't govern their own reactions? A Stoic answer is even sharper. You don't control what happens, you control whether you rehearse it with your mouth. The core law. The more you complain, the more you are owned by the thing you're complaining about. Owned by your boss, owned by the algorithm, owned by your ex, owned by your parents, owned by your past. So, how do you flip this without becoming fake, numb, or detached? Complaining as a notification, not a command. When the urge to complain hits, treat it like a notification, not an order.
a pop-up that says something feels off. And now you choose. Do I reclaim power or give more away? There are two paths. Path 1, verbal discharge, raw emotion unfiltered, temporary relief, long-term weakness. Path 2, strategic response. This sucks. Okay, what's exactly wrong? Can I change it, influence it, or endure it without making it my personality? That pause, that's the birth of Stoic power. The three types of complaints. Most people mix them together. The disciplined separate them. 1. Complaints you can change. I procrastinate. My room is a mess. I'm always late. When you complain about things fully under your control, you're telling the world, I don't even command myself. The switch is simple but brutal. Stop talking about it or start acting on it. Not with shame, with authority. 2. Complaints you can influence. I hate my job. People don't take me seriously. This environment is toxic. Complaining publicly drains energy. Stoic power builds leverage quietly. You become steady, professional, prepared. No drama, no bleeding. 3. Complaints you cannot change. Your past, your childhood, unfair events. Here's where Stoicism goes cold, but freeing. Pain is real. The story you keep telling about it is optional. Complaining keeps the story alive. Stoic power lets the pain exist and kills the narrative that owns your future. When it actually matters. Your next bad day. You're tired. Something goes wrong. Someone disrespects you. Your nervous system begs for a target. That's the moment. The moment you complain, you are owned. So, do this instead. Name it privately. I feel disrespected. I feel powerless. Ask what's in your control, your tone, your next action, your focus. Upgrade complaints into requests, not helplessness, strategy. Why this changes how people see you. People read emotional stability as power, not perfection, not coldness, self-governance. The person who doesn't explode, the person who doesn't drag everyone into their storm, that person feels dangerous in a good way. Final law. Next time you want to complain, ask, is this under my control? If yes, what's one move I can make? If not, how can I carry this with dignity? And the real question, do I want relief for 5 minutes or strength for 5 years? Complaining serves 5 minutes. Stoic power serves 5 years. The world doesn't get a free subscription to your complaints. It can watch your moves instead. That's Machiavelli's law of Stoic power.